Afternoon, members. It is now time to start the meeting as scheduled. We have also formed a quorum. Well, today is the 4th of January 2019. First of all, I would like to wish everybody a Happy New Year. Item 1 on the agenda, confirmation of minutes of meeting. Minutes of the 9th meeting held on the 14th of December 2018. So far, members haven't suggested any comments. I would like to invite members to confirm the minutes. Confirmed. Item 2. Matters arising. Report by the chairman on her meeting with the Chief Secretary for Administration. We haven't got anything to report to members. B. Further report by the Legal Service Division on the merchant shipping safety passenger ship construction ships built before 1st of September 1984, Amendment Number 2, Regulation 2018 LN 255. A further report. I would like to give the floor to the legal advisor. Thank you, Chair Lady. You'll find our further report in LC paper number LS 37/18 to 19. This is about LN 255. This is one of the legal notices in relation to the implementation of the latest requirements of the International Convention for the Safety of Life at Sea of the IMO. As a result of our inquiries, the government is going to introduce a separate amendment regulation so that the requirements will not only be applicable to Hong Kong registered passenger ships, but also non-Hong Kong registered passenger ships in the waters of Hong Kong. We noticed that it has been gazetted today at the House Committee meeting next week. We are going to give you a report. Regarding LN 255, we haven't got further questions. All right, members, if you don't have other questions, please note that the deadline for moving amendments to this piece of subsidiary legislation will be the LegCo meeting on the 9th of January. Item 3, Legal Service Division report on subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 14th of December 2018. LS 34/18 to 19. Legal advisor, please. Thank you. It covers one item of subsidiary legislation, namely LN 263. Declaration of Constituencies, District Council's Order 2018 in relation to the 6th term DCs. This is about the declaration of the constituencies as well as the naming of the constituencies. The order will come into effect on the 1st of March 2019 when the 6th term commences. The previous declaration order will be repealed. We haven't got other legal notices. Well, regarding the Declaration of Constituencies, District Council's Order 2018, does any member wish to set up a subcommittee to follow this up? If not, I just want to remind members that if you would like to move amendments to this piece of subsidiary legislation, the expiry date will be the LegCo meeting on the 30th of January, unless extended till the 27th of February. Item 4. Legal Service Division report on subsidiary legislation gazetted on the 21st of December 2018. Legal advisor, please. Thank you, Chair Lady. Paper LS 36/18 to 19. It covers 3 items of subsidiary legislation. For the first one, LN 267. This means that for the years of assessment starting from the 1st of April 2018, in relation to the debt instruments issued by the People's Bank of China, there will be exemption to the interest or profits accrued as a result, so that the relevant debt instruments as well as the sovereign bonds issued by the Central People's Government will equally be entitled to exemption from profits tax. It will come into effect on the 1st of March, but it will be applicable to the year of assessment starting from the 1st of April 2018. Does any member wish to set up a subcommittee? Dr. K.K. Kwok. Any members wishing to join, please circulate a paper to seek members' views on membership. Well, members, if you would like to move an amendment, the deadline will fall on the 30th of January unless extended by a motion till the 27th of February. Legal advisor, please continue. Thank you, Chair. Two other items in relation to United Nations sanctions. They do need to be tabled in LegCo and not subject to amendment by the LegCo. And this is in relation to Mali as well as Democratic Republic of the Congo. The United Nations have come up with fresh sanctions, and they in relation to financial sanctions as well as prohibitions against entry or transit through Hong Kong. You may want to refer the two of them to the subcommittee to examine the implementation in Hong Kong of the resolutions of the UN Security Council in relation to sanctions. I think members would agree that we refer them to that subcommittee. If there's no other views, we will just follow the practice. Thank you. Business for the Council meeting of the 9th of January 2019. Report number 8/18-19 of the House Committee on Consideration of Subsidiary Legislation and Other Instruments. The draft report has already been sent out to members, covering 25 items of subsidiary legislation, the period for amendment of which will expire at the Council meeting of the 9th of January 2019. One member has indicated her wish to speak on Land Miscellaneous Provisions Amendment Regulation 2018. So the chairlady of the House Com will move a motion to note the report. Questions. We have already arranged for 22 questions, 6 oral questions and 16 written questions. B, bill first reading and moving of second reading. No notice has been received yet. C, government motion. Proposed resolution under Section 4 of the Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters Ordinance Cap 525 to be moved by the Secretary for Security. D, members' motions. First of all, proposed resolution under Section 34(4) of the Interpretation and General Causes Ordinance Cap 1 to be moved by Dr. Honorable Pierre Chen, in relation to the following items of subsidiary legislation. First, Private Healthcare Facilities Ordinance, specification of dates for Section 135(1)(a) notice and Private Healthcare Facilities Ordinance, specification of date for Section 136(1)(a) notice. B, motion on reviewing the policy on one-way permit to be moved by Honorable Elvin Jiang. For the proposed resolution to be moved by Dr. Chen, the purpose is to extend the period for amendment till the LC meeting on the 30th of January. At that LC meeting, there will be two other motions to be moved to my members without legally binding effects, including the one I have mentioned from Mr. Elvin Jiang. Another has been deferred from a previous LegCo meeting to be moved by Mr. Poon Siu Ping concerning the holiday policy. Item 6, the Chief Executive's question and answer session on the 10th of January 2019. The question and answer session will take place between 10:30 a.m. and 12 p.m. Item 7, business for the Council meeting of the 16th of January 2019. A, questions. 22 questions have been arranged, 6 oral questions, 16 written questions. B, bill, first reading and moving of second reading. No notice has been received yet. C, government motion. No notice has been received yet. D, members' motions. Honorable Siu Ka-chun would like to move a motion on reviewing the Comprehensive Social Security Assistance Scheme. Second, Mr. James To would like to move a motion on increasing housing supply in the short to medium term to rectify the problem of public housing shortage. If you would like to move amendments, the deadline is the 9th of January, Wednesday. Item 8, reports of Bills Committees and Subcommittees. A. Report of the Bills Committee on Electoral Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2018. I would like to invite Mr. Zhang Kok-kwan to speak and to report to us. Thank you. Chair Lady. Electoral Legislation Miscellaneous Amendments Bill 2018 seeks to amend a number of items of electoral legislation to increase the maximum penalties for certain offences relating to voter registration. Streamline the mechanism for appeals, claims and objections relating to registration, introduce an exemption from criminal liability for incurring election expenses for publishing electoral advertisements on the Internet, and make other technical and miscellaneous amendments to the electoral legislation. The discussion of the Bills Committee has been detailed in a written report. Members are mainly concerned about the following issues: the increase of maximum penalties and proposed measures to streamline mechanism for appeals, claims and objections relating to VR, introducing an exemption from EA on the Internet. And also, in response to the observations given by the legal advisor to the Bills Committee, the administration proposes to introduce some technical amendments. Members have not raised any objection to the amendments. The Bills Committee supports the resumption of the second reading debate on the bill at the Council meeting of the 16th of January 2019 and will not move any amendments.
If members don't have, you'd like to move an amendment to this bill, the deadline for giving notice is the 7th of January, Monday. Report of the Subcommittee on Tai Lam Tunnel and Yulang Approach Road Ordinance Amendment of Schedule 1, Notice 2018, and Western Harbour Crossing Ordinance Amendment of Schedule 1, Notice 2018. I would like to ask Mr. Yu Si-wing, the Sub-Chairman of the Subcommittee, to speak. Chairman, the Tai Lam Tunnel and Yuen Long Approach Road Ordinance Amendment of Schedule 1, Notice 2018, and Western Harbour Crossing Ordinance Amendment of Schedule 1, Notice 2018 reflect that the new statutory tolls for Tai Lam Tunnel and Yuen Long Approach Road and new statutory tolls for Western Harbour Crossing took effect on the 1st of August and the 31st of July 2018, respectively. After the new tolls have taken effect, the two tunnel companies have continued to offer concessions to all categories of vehicles, which means that the current tolls have remained unchanged. These two legal notices need not be tabled at the Council and are not subject to the Council's amendments. Members do not object to these two legal notices, but expressed concern towards the administration's toll adjustment proposal to achieve rationalization of traffic distribution among the WHC, HC, and CHT, including whether the proposal will achieve the desired effects, whether the toll compensation scheme for WHC will be affected by future rise of statutory tolls, and whether the analysis in the study on rationalization of traffic distribution is sound and reliable. The deliberations of the subcommittee are detailed in the report for members' perusal. Thank you, Mr. Yu Si-wing.
C. Report of the Subcommittee on Issues Relating to Shopping Centres, Markets and Car Parks in Public Rental Housing Estates and Home Ownership Scheme Estates. Mr. Jeffrey Lam, please. Thank you, Madam Chair. Since January 2018, the subcommittee took up the matter with the administration a number of times in relation to issues within our terms of reference, like the operation of the shopping centres, markets and car parks under the management of Link REIT as well as other private enterprises, the planning for commercial and social welfare facilities in newly completed public rental housing estates, and also the impact on public housing estate residents in relation to the divested retail and car parking facilities, as well as the regulatory mechanism. We have listened to the views of over 100 members of the public concerning such matters. In the course of a deliberation, generally speaking, members are not satisfied with the fact that Link REIT has adopted a market-oriented approach to operate the divested retail and car parking facilities, and they have sold the divested properties so as to reap huge profits at the expense of the needs of the grassroots citizens. In addition, the quality of management of the divested properties is worsening, and this has attracted a lot of public outcry. To protect the interests of the public, members strongly urge the administration to consider buying back the link and try to consider other practical solutions. For example, improving the service provided by the housing authority in its own shopping centres, adjusting the operational mode of the markets, reviewing the relevant standards under the Hong Kong Planning Standards and Guidelines, increasing the number of car parking spaces in public housing, and setting up an interdepartmental task force to inspect the divested properties so as to solve the problems as a result of divesting the properties, so as to make sure that there will be suitable and adequate retail and car parking facilities for the tenants of the public housing. And our deliberations and recommendations are detailed in our report. I would like to invite members to note our report. Thank you.
對報告有意見。
Mr. Au, now here you have views, something to say about the report. I must say that I don't agree with Mr. Jeffrey Lam's conduct of the meeting that day, and he put an end to the discussion, and as a result we didn't have the chance to give our complete views. And many members have said that when we see that the link divesting as many as 10 properties, we must follow up on the issues duly. And there has been some new progress. Say, for example, in some venues, international schools will be opened. And some members have asked that public hearings be held to follow up on these issues. I hope that Mr. Jeffrey Lam can understand that many members have raised such views, and if we just put an end to the discussion arbitrarily, or the meeting's works arbitrarily, there is no way that we can follow up on these lively issues properly. Well, now different issues may cover wide scope, and it might not be possible for a certain subcommittee to follow up all the issues. I believe that the members can follow up the issues at the relevant panels. Mr. Eddie Ju, you have some views, right? On October 23rd, together with 4 members, I have asked that this subcommittee be following up on matters not completed yet, including the maintenance for these divested properties and the covenants in relation to the maintenance work, etc. The Housing Department has not given a full account, and in October there are news reports saying that Link will divest another 10 shopping centers, and that falls squarely within the scope of the subcommittee. So I don't understand why the subcommittee's work has to end on the 30th of October. I think this is irresponsible. Well, we've noted your views. Now, the period for a subcommittee normally lasts for 12 months, and we have many other issues on the queue. And I believe that the subcommittee has finished its 1-year tenure, and you can follow up issues at the other panels. Mr. Jeffrey Lam, let me add, the decisions of the subcommittee are made by a majority of the members, not but myself alone, while those who are present at the meeting made those decisions. So, of course, for any subcommittees, there are bound to be a diversity of views. So we go by the majority rule in dealing with the various issues. So all the decisions were made based on majority views, the majority of the members present at the meetings. Thank you, Madam Chair. I believe that different political parties would like to follow on the issue duly, so you can do that at the relevant policy panels. The last item, position on both committees and subcommittees. As of the 3rd of January, Thursday, at work are 12 bills committees, and then 8 subcommittees under House Committee, and then 6 subcommittees on policy issues under the panels. Now, there are 8 subcommittees on policy issues under panels are on the waiting list. AOB, there is no AOB. So, meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.